This is the Glenn Beck Program.
This may already be one of the most watched things on the Blaze ever. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think any story or any video or audio has ever beaten what is on the Blaze right now. The Adam Carolla talks about Occupy Wall Street. It is the most epic rant. Now, we had to edit it because, as Stu said, quote, we over-edited because of people in Iowa. Call the Blaze, tell them make sure to take this audio and post both the edited and the unedited version. Depending on what your ears care for. The unedited version is quite raucous, but so true and satisfying. I want you to hear what he said because he is just talking common sense. He's talking about Occupy Wall Street and also what's happening to our society. Adam Carolla on his podcast. Listen to this.
I understand some people have more than others. That's always going to be there. And we started off this evening talking about the auto show and about how the crazy competition just led to these crazy, crazy cars. And I know sometimes it goes astray, but for the most part, it's the best system we have. And trying to get the top 1% to pay for the bottom 55% or to pay in 55%, that's not the angle to choose. The angle's worrying about what the other 50% are doing, not what the top, who's already paying way more than their fair share, is doing. There's something that's come up in this country that didn't used to exist, which is envy. And it's a big issue. And it was understood back in the day, and we are empowering, we're now dealing with the first wave of participation trophy. My own fecal matter doesn't stink. Empowered. I feel so good about myself. Everybody's a winner. There's no losers. We are dealing with the first wave of those assholes. That's who we're dealing with now. Because this has been going on for about 25 years, and we're just starting to get maybe 20 years, and those kids were 8 or 9 years old, and we're getting the first.
Is that the millennials? I think that's the name for these.
I call them
that's colloquially they're known as the.
I saw that on the news.
Oh, okay.
That's
I stand corrected.
Yeah, Brian Williams called.
Right, Brian.
You know what he calls him is.
Hannah. So what we have, I haven't really broken this down, but I'm going to try now. We created a bunch of self-entitled monsters. Mm-hmm. And this has become the pursuit of my life, where people are so far out of it and what they expect and what they think realistic is and what the set of rules that pertains to them versus the other guys, because that's what the bottom line is. I want my most valuable player trophy. Well, you're the slowest, fattest guy on the team. Why should he get one and I don't get one? Because he busts his and he runs a 4.440. That's why he gets one. Well, this is. And then everyone gets involved, and then everyone gives everyone a participation trophy, and then everyone feels good about themselves. It's not based on anything. You should feel good about yourself because of your accomplishments, not because somebody yelled at you to feel good about yourself and you a fake piece of plastic that was sprayed gold and had your name on a plaque on the bottom of it. And when these folks become adults and enter the workforce, and they've done stories about this, how you can't treat them, the boss can't yell, hey, let's go. Let's get back to work now. And, oh, you raised your voice to me. You better watch your tone, buddy. My dad's a lawyer. I'll sue you. I'll take this company. Self-entitled who think the world owes them a living. And now we're getting the first wave of these. And now they grew up. And it's fine if you grow up in this little snow globe of a life where everything is awesome and everyone gets a participation trophy and there's no losers. Well, when you get shaken up and everything's awesome. But then you get out into the real world and you realize I'm a loser. You're not doing that well. You're not making that much money. There's no more participation trophies. This is the LA Auto Show. You don't get to sit around and go, hey, here's my piece of I worked on. Everyone, why aren't you guys buying it? And then, instead of finding a mirror and finding the reason why no one's buying your car, you just want to run around and yell at everyone else who's selling cars, and now you want to take and throw it at the cars because you want to their cars up.
Okay, stop for a second. This is Adam Carolla, and this is obviously the edited version. We're posting both versions, the edited and non, up on theblaze.com. It's brilliant. It's no, it's not. It's common sense. All he's saying are the things that we all know are true, but he's saying them. That should tell you something about this society. That saying something like this is now the biggest story. I think we should find out. We should actually ask Betsy what are the biggest stories ever on the Blaze. This may be the biggest story ever on the Blaze. 2 hours ago, I listened to this. We bring it to your attention an hour ago, and it races to the top of the Blaze, and it is gigantic. Why? Have you heard anything that is earth-shattering? They're like, whoa, that's a new concept. No. He's just saying it like a guy on the street, too. He's just saying it. That's you don't. We're starving for people just to say it and not care about saying it. They just say it because it's true.
Because that's what's going on. It's like, instead of looking in the mirror and go, why am I not doing better? You just find some guys got more than you and go, hey, man, what do you need all that for? It's the same version of, hey, man, what do you need an MVP trophy for? Because I bust That's why. Or maybe I'm just genetically better than you. Either way, buddy, I got the trophy. So shut the up and get the back to work, or better yet, on the bench where you belong. This is what's going on. So they're feeling shame. They've been shamed by life because they haven't been prepared for life. They've been told, they've been had so much smoke blown up their collective. By the time they get out in the real world and they realize the real world doesn't give a where you're from or what your mommy said you were or how pretty you are or what you do. They don't give a what anyone, and all those lies that were told to your parents about how special you are and how no one was created like you, and all this advertised with Nike and all this, like, it's just one you and you take it all and it's your world and all that Reebok doesn't mean when you get to the real world and you're just looked at as peon number 27 who's putting in an application, and guess what? I don't like your attitude. Feet off my desk and hit the bricks. I'm not hiring you. Then now your plan is to come back and throw a brick at my window. That's your plan. This is what's going on. It's this envy and shame, and there's going to be a lot more of it. Because it used to be...
Conspiracy theorists!
Back in the day, father would be walking his son down the sidewalk, and you'd see a guy go by in a Rolls Royce, and the father would say, there goes Mr. Jenkins. Look up to him. That guy works hard. That guy built a company. That guy built an empire. Now look at him. He's got his Rolls Royce. He's driving up the hill. But what do we do now? Now it's like, oh, look at him. Look at him. Does he need that car? Yeah. Why does he need that car? I'm driving a fucking Chevette. Why does he get to drive that car? You know, let's go throw a rock at it.
It's true.
That ain't going to help you get out of the Chevette.
That's right.
To work. And by the way, parents, society, we are creating a group of self-entitled monsters.
Well,
knock it off.
Right. And I'm wondering, all the parents that created this culture of were they
Sounds so
like, are they the
saying.
ones who are feeling like, well, I was never told I was special enough? Like, are they overcompensating for their childhood? Because now there's been like sort of a few generations that are aware of Dr. Spock and aware that kids have special emotional needs and et cetera.
We started, we have these weird swings in raising kids, and they're not very good. I mean, I grew up in the sort of 70s, just free to be me, you and me. Hey, man, if he doesn't want to learn to read, he doesn't have to learn to read. Yeah, just run wild, free range, do your own thing, man. That whole hippie, do your own thing, never panned out. And the super self-esteem building and just all this where we have to knock down a Christmas celebration, call it a holiday celebration so we don't offend the one kid whose parents are litigious or whatever. We've our society up royally. We've basically taken that one kid and empowered him, and we've got to stop because that's what all this is. It used to be that you looked I'm not saying you took random rich guys and worshipped at their altar, but you took guys who built something and you said, there's a guy who's accomplished something, not, well, why isn't he paying his fair share? I mean, when did that ever come about? Mm-hmm. That guy paid in millions of dollars last year. You paid in and you're pissed at him? Obviously, it doesn't make sense. Obviously, it's not a rational thought. It's shame-driven. And you want to extrapolate this. This is essentially what the terrorists do with us. They see us over here in our hot tubs, driving our big cars around, having our parties, turning on...
Dude, big cars with hot tubs.
Yeah, stretch limos with hot tubs. Our chicks looking hot, fake boobies
Splashing
and bikinis and all that. And they're like, it, Allah's going to take care of these guys. And then Allah doesn't take care of and then they come down and blow our buildings up. It's this weird... It's not... We think it's about religion, or we think it's about, cultures. It's one culture can't live next to another culture that's thriving without getting pissed off, envious, resentful. You then get shamed, and when you get shamed, there's two things you can do with shame. You can be shamed and go, I better get my together, or you can be shamed and go, I'm going to tear that guy down, and that's where we're at now.
Stop.
When you...
Boy, that's for sure.
He is
exactly
absolutely right. This should be heard in every college campus. This should be, this is, remember how long have we been saying, stop with the participation trophies.
Oh.
I beg you, take the participation trophies and go burn them in your backyard for Christmas. Give your kids a great gift. Fill their stockings with all their broken trophies that you took into the garage on Christmas Eve, and you broke them apart with a hammer and a hacksaw, and then you put all those broken pieces into the stockings, and you say to your kids, Merry Christmas, kids. Here you go. You are a loser unless you choose to excel. I'm giving you the greatest gift I can possibly give you. No more worthless trophies in this house. No more telling you you are the most special. No, you're not.
And when your kid can't sing, don't tell him that was great.
Yeah, my gosh. Do we have to watch American Idol for yet another season before we get it? Before we look at these poor kids who are sitting there having their hearts ripped out, and then they go back and they rip Simon Cowell a new ass because he's standing there saying he's telling them the truth.
Mm-hmm. No, it's the first time they've ever heard anything real, and that's why they sit there and cry afterwards.
But they take it out on him, and they come back to the
the whole thing.
The TV, and they're like, no, and their parents are standing next to them, going, she is so right. She's so talented. They don't know it. That parent, you forget about the 200-pound toddler that's being taken away from their parents. Those kids should be taken away from their parents, but not by the government, by sane neighbors.
His point about empowering the one over the needs of the many is exactly right. And they're down there screaming about this is what his point about empowering the one over the needs of the many is exactly right. And they're down there screaming about this is what democracy looks like. This is the exact opposite of democracy. This is not majority rules. This is rule by the tiniest minority in society. Every time one person complains about something, everybody else suffers for it. It's absolutely wrong.
Dom, if you're watching GBTV, Dom, bring up the camera on the screen again. Look at this. Look at this story. We have what's called the mosaic. We can track stories and what people are reading and in relation to other stories, so we can see what's happening on the internet. And I've never seen this before.
Yeah, it's 10 times bigger than any other story.
I've never seen this before.
Yeah,
it's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. And there's no brain surgery there. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. That's all it is. That's how starving we are for the truth.
Yeah. And we sit here with these people continually make the same arguments about how they've been thwarted by the rest of society, and they are the ones that are crushed.
Up.
And we've said this before, but again, even the poorest in our society are the wealthiest 1% to the rest of the world. Yeah, so how do you think this plays out?
Let me ask you this. Yeah, thank you for saying that. But let me ask you this. So you take all the wealth from me. You take it from me. Who are you taking it from next year?
Mm-hmm. It's all gone.
Right. You take it from me, then you have it. Then somebody takes it from you. And then somebody takes it. I love the story of the farmers in Russia. They rush to go kill all the farmers, and so the townsfolk can take the farms. And then when the government comes to say, you're not producing enough, we're going to take the farms from you, they say, how dare you? This is our land.
Yeah.
Excuse me? No, it's not.
Same thing in Zimbabwe. The exact same story.
Over and over. That's the way Marxism works. You know,